Good morning and happy Sunday. My name's Big John and you're watching Big John Inc. Today I got a early morning mission. Searching the Facebook marketplace, I ended up finding a John Deere 520A lawnmower, which is a relatively big 60-inch mower deck. It has a stuck engine, and this morning I'm going to go out and try and find it. It just so happened that I have Luke's trailer here, so I'm able to use that to pick it up. We'll go get started. All right. Should be good to go now. Yeah, that'll be a whole lot. Just made it back home with our brand new John Deere lawnmower. From the posting, already knew that it was going to have engine issues, but did not realize how nice this particular size mower actually looks until I got up there in person. Right now I got my Z420A out back, and really that was my first introduction to John Deere zero-turn mowers. This is a series newer, and it would be considered not quite commercial, but like a premium homeowner brand. And so the 500 series really was their entry into homeowners with bigger properties want something that is going to stand up to the use and also going to make a really nice cut. And this was really the first one of that kind of 500 series mower. So it's a little dusty from the trip, but overall this mower looks pretty nice. It does have the ROPS built in. You can see how big and stout both the front caster arms are. These are cast, unlike the welded steel tubular kind of the. If we move up to kind of the seat, you can see this is a premium seat. It's suspended on springs, so it gives kind of a better ride. The joysticks themselves also have some controls built into them. So if you look at the button here, this is your PTO shut off button. The other side, you get a button that allows you to kind of raise the deck electronically. This is a electrically lifted and lowered deck. So that would be a nice feature as long as it keeps working. If we move to the back where all the problems are, he had been working on this engine some in the past. Apparently 4 years ago, this engine ended up with a new head gasket. This is a Kohler 25 horsepower engine. He'd recently added new coils. Apparently the last time he was running it, it seemed like it was low on power. he ended up playing with the governor a little bit. Something was either going wrong or about to go wrong, and this thing essentially locked up. So we'll end up pulling the heads off of this. We'll take the valve cover off first, then we'll look at the heads and kind of investigate as much as we can without removing the engine before figuring out, hey, is this something worth fixing, or is it something that we can just take the whole engine off, replace it with either a used or new engine. One thing I noticed right now, whenever he went and did the spacing for these coils, something went very wrong. And so these are actually, look like they're bent up. So that is going to probably be a problem. This thing could not have ran very long with that set that way. And you can see the scoring marks on that magnet. So there's definitely been some issues going on with this motor. We'll see what we can get into and how we can fix it. We do have enough room to get in here. They look all right. Nothing too crazy. I'll get the other side out. So any bets on cylinder 1 or cylinder 2 being our main problem? That spark plug looks not too shabby either. Nothing too crazy. Cylinder valve cover number 1 coming off. Sometimes I get started into these projects and I wonder, you know, what are other people doing on a wonderful Monday night? Behind door number 1. Let's see what we got. Oof. Earl. Push rods look like they're still there. Well, there we go. Everything looks to be there. My best guess is this is gonna come apart. We're gonna have to pull the heads, see if we can see anything underneath them, and keep on going. So if the heads aren't jacked up, looks like someone broke that clip. Come on there, little buddy. Oh, you're still attached. That's why you're being such a pain. There were a lot more threads to that than I anticipated. So we've started to tear into the motor more. I got the whole governor assembly off. And I'm going to take this muffler off next. All right. Push rods. Ooh, yucky. Here's our first problem. We have a bent push rod. Taking a look inside the cylinder, everything looks pretty good. One thing I did notice right away, looking at the head gasket, this bottom section was definitely blown. So there would have been an exhaust leak, and you definitely get a loss of power from that. Round 2. See what this side holds for us. Oops. This one also has a blown head gasket. Right there. But otherwise, push rods look pretty good. Just to show everyone how locked up this thing is. It is not budging at all. So, with both pistons looking like they're relatively okay in there, Like there's no scoring on the tops of them. I'm guessing wrist pin on the connecting rod is locked up or something. I don't know. It's not good, that's for sure. All right, we got some pretty good tension on it now. I'll just beat this with a hammer. Should pop right up. There we go. My little flywheel puller setup. Pretty slick. So there are magnets underneath it here, which I think are what's partially giving me some crap here. There we go. And I didn't even break any of the magnets on the bottom. It's doing pretty good. So we got most of the stuff on the top side disconnected. At this point, we're gonna try dropping the pulleys and belts off. I'm glad my hand was there to catch this. And we're off. And now this thing should just come down, I hope. There it goes. Just like that. Hey, that bolt's broken. That's always a great sign. Just loose. All right, we'll spin that back on. You know, this is way lighter without all the crap on it. I don't know if you can hear that, but listen. Wow, wow, wow. We're gonna zip apart this housing real fast and check it out before it's bedtime. Just pull all the screws now. Hey, it's coming up. I can tell you, it does not smell good. Like the smell, like you know something's wrong. And that's not a good place to be. All right, how bad are we? Ooh, holy smokes. That's pretty bad. So we'll start off, this is the bottom cover. Not too bad, right? We got our governor gear right there. Our gear for the pump, oil pump. That seems all right. You got a little bit of like something dug into that. Hey, are we missing a connecting rod? Holy crap. All of the poor shattered remains of this connecting rod. It is smoked. And then I'm pretty sure this is why nothing would turn. You can see the bottom of the skirt of the piston has just been absolutely wrecked. I'd say at this point we are looking at maybe a good housing, but I'd say this crank is shot. Like it is smoked. There it is. I think this took a little bit of a beating from that counterweight swinging around. But overall, like the skirt right here, the skirt here, it doesn't look like it got scored that much other than just beat up on this side. We have the crank. You can see this connecting rod had spun on the crankshaft. We also spun this main crank bearing right here. Unfortunately, that is kind of a big deal because on these smaller gas engines, there's no bearing that the crank rides in. And so whenever it wears into the housing like that, you're pretty much damaging this whole casting. You have to sleeve it and machine the housing with the new sleeve in it to match that crank, which really, whenever you're talking about machine work with these small engines, very quickly you're well past the cost of a complete engine. I went and ordered a whole new replacement engine. So we have, instead of a CV730, I ordered a ZT730 It happens to have the right output shaft. This engine's pretty much scrap. I'm gonna throw out everything I don't think I can sell and give that to a buddy, dedicate it or donate it to his scrap pile. Well, have you ever had one of those days that you're just too excited about what showed up, that you start tearing into it and you get all excited and you make all these plans like, hey, I'm gonna get this done, and then realize, oh no, I forgot the camera? Well, that's one of these days. So check this out. It's a brand new cooler engine. So my plan for today is we're gonna make a running lawnmower. We'll grab the pulleys, make sure those fit on the shaft, the muffler, because I need to make sure that fits on there, and clean this whole compartment out. It's pretty greasy right now. Really wish I would have pressure washed this before bringing it in the garage, but it's here. I don't know, it's 6 o'clock. I'm hoping in the next 3 hours we'll have a running lawnmower. Sweet, that slides on. And then we have our PTO pulley. Ah, there it goes. There it is. And does the bolt thread in? Bolt threads in like it should. All right. That looks like that all fits. Let's check the muffler real quick. Muffler is a go. Awesome. The only thing left I really need to check is the mounting holes. Make sure they get tapped to the same size. Oh, it's not tapped at all. As I spin the bolt, if you look down at the bolt is tri-lobed and it's tapered. So these bolts actually will cut their own threads as they go in. I'm not a super big fan of bolts like this. They're great for staying in, but they make me kind of nervous when you're doing it on a casting. You don't know what the tolerance was. I assume these are probably fine for this block, seeing as this is pretty much the same exact casting that was in the previous engine. I still might try and get a thread pitch off of this, start out with a tap in each of these to give this something to start into, and that way I know, hey, at least I'll get some good threads out of this block. This bolt looks like it's lining up with 3/8 pretty well. You're able to get them to set within each other like that. We got my tap. I'll grab my wrench. We'll go make that happen. So when I'm tapping aluminum, normally I'll use like an alcohol or WD-40 works pretty well. All right, next up is clean out the engine bay. All right, from a fuel perspective, we can just leave this off to the side for now. The harness will stay pretty much strapped down where it's at. Really, I'm mostly concerned with where the engine goes. Everything else I can pressure wash after the fact. All right, from the top side, that looks way better. I wish you guys could see me crab walking over here. This thing is not exactly light. Oh, up and over. Let's not destroy the connector. Next phase of don't break your back. Oh, fudge. All right. I guess that's how you put an engine in place. You just kind of drop it. Whew. Check it out. Brand new engine. Let's mount it with the 3 bolts that I have. Hook up the cables, hook up the harness, hook up the fuel. Let's see if this thing starts. 1, 2, 3. I think that first pulley actually pockets itself up in there, so it might be good to use that as a centering device. Yeah, okay, we're clear either way. All right, inside here we have our starter post wire we need to connect. I'm hoping Kohler did not change anything between this pin and that pin, but there's wires going to things that I don't know if they go to. Well, they're together now, so I think I need to connect the ground wire up here. All right, got one ground wire attached. All right, we got some of the power hooked up. I still think I need to get the actual starter wire plugged in somehow. Need to figure that out. Dipstick. Huh. Better add some of that. What else do we got over here? We got our fuel line we need to hook up, so that should be pretty easy. It looks like we don't quite make it with the old setup. And we're free. This off loop. Here. So we got fuel hooked up. So let's fill this thing up. Just make sure we're on the dipstick here. So this is one of those super convenient times. I got the throttle control and choke control hooked up. Easily can tell, hey, I need to go to that hole up there and this one down here. Uh-oh. I realize I might have crushed this. Oh, I totally crushed this cable. Whoopsies. Come take a look at this. That cable is well and smashed underneath there, so we'll see if we can work it out. Just got splattered in the face with oil. Oh, shoot, that might be really bad. Hopefully that guy still works when it's all said and done. I was doing pretty good about wearing gloves, and that just kind of went out the window. All right, those cables are set up. It looks like we got pretty good travel and choke. Before I go and put on the exhaust, I think it would be wise to try and get this thing started up. What we have going on, the old harness has a pin with a wire that connects into the starter. This is what turns it over. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this wire, strip it back, pretty much attach this pin into this little connector pin that I happen to have with this old kit. We're gonna try that out. Hopefully it works. It looks like the same diameter as what I need on this one. Here's what we got going on right now. I have my little connector. I went in, crimped on to the actual insulation. Now I'll just crimp down these little tabs, making my actual connection to the wire. It just so happens the hole in this connector is where I am lacking the starter wire, and so we're just gonna push this down in there and hope we end up in the right place. These look like different connectors, but we'll see what happens. It looks like it wants to go. So if any of you ever hit that point when you're like, man, I really don't think this is the best idea, but we're still gonna do it, I'm at that point. Hope that's good enough. Hey, it went in. And then it came back out. It's all okay. Always has been. No issues to see right here. Hey! My crappy pin might actually have worked. I don't know if you can see. It's sparking! Which is good because that means all I have to do is mess with that fuel shut off. Oh buddy, we got fuel. So now at this point, we got a couple options. I think right now, I'm just gonna hold my finger right here and we're gonna see if we can get this thing fire up. I do know I could do silly things like chop off that shut off, but this is a brand new engine. We don't need to do anything like that this early. I just want this thing to fire up. So then I know we're good enough. I can install the muffler on and then work through the electrical stuff at my own pace. So we'll see what we can do. And let's go. Sweet. Oh my gosh. All right, it's the next day. So what we have going on, earlier the fuel shutoff solenoid used to be its own pin right here. The tractor harness didn't have a pin for it, so it didn't get any power. I'll be tying it in with the charging wire. This goes to your coil on the top. This one charges your battery. This one will let fuel flow. There's a jumper between the two, so they all are good and connected in circuit. The white wire here is your magneto kill switch. And so anytime that this is grounded, you pretty much won't have spark. The green wire is pretty cool. It is the low oil level sensor. This mower unfortunately does not have that light, and so it's not going to be used for anything. If I wanted to, I could put another pin in this connector, run it back to the light. All I need to do at this point, I've already pulled the pin off the red wire. We're gonna solder it on. That may be one of the worst solders joints I've ever seen, but they're together. And I think they'll live for the time being. That was not good. Sorry, Mr. Blue Guy. So we'll just easily help that little guy get shrunk up. Ah, come on, you turd. Tongue test. I think we're good. Let's try this thing out. Hey, I heard the solenoid click. That's a good sign. Awesome. We are now going to install both the pulleys. We got our counter pulley here, all tightened up, nice snug. And we'll get that belt on there. That'll prevent it from slipping down anymore. All right, come on, you're almost there. There we go. And we're good. I believe we should be lined up this time. All right. I don't know why it was so hard last time. All right. And there we go. We got our belts on. One of the cool things is they were nice enough to send new bolts and gaskets. So that should make this pretty easy. And doing our best to not hit too much on our way up. We got the muffler back on, that's all bolted up, both the belts are on. The engine we know already starts to run, wire harness is good. At this point, I think we're pretty much ready to fire this thing up, see if it will drive, see if we'll move around. We'll get it parked over outside, turn on the PTO, see if that works. I think this thing works pretty well. I'm gonna end up putting the back cover and the rear weight on, and then we're gonna go out and try mowing a little bit today. So here's what I have going on. Whenever I was mowing last, this thing would shut the PTO off and the maintenance light would flash on and off. Not sure what's going on. Now though, whenever I key on, I get nothing. Something electronically went from being okay to not being okay. We're gonna have to dig in and figure out what's going on. Ooh, that's easy. Ground wire. I did not tighten this very well. I remember that. I did it by hand, and yeah, that would be why we're kicking out. That was quick. Gosh darn it. All right, that should be tight. Awesome! This thing worked really, really well. The engine replacement went just about as easily as it could have. The mower deck runs perfectly. All the power functions work perfectly. I'm really excited for this machine. I think this might be my new personal mower here at the house. Thank you for watching. This is Big John Inc.